Let's dive into real estate investing. We're taking a deep dive into the simplified real estate investment course curriculum by the Valhalla Ventures.
A great resource for anyone looking to get started or even seasoned investors.
Exactly. So this curriculum, it's all about giving you the knowledge to make smart decisions. No get-rich-quick schemes here.
Definitely not.
More like getting rich smart strategies.
There you go.
Okay. So first module jumps into why real estate. People talk about stocks, bonds. Why is property so special for investors?
Well, with real estate, you've got the potential for that monthly income. Think rent checks coming in.
Okay, I like the sound of that already. Passive income.
Exactly. Plus, you've got the potential for long-term value growth as the property appreciates over time.
So two potential income streams. I'm interested. What about those tax advantages everyone's always talking about with real estate?
Right. The curriculum does touch on the tax benefits, but those can get kind of complex depending on, your location and all.
Of course, gotta love tax laws.
Exactly. But the curriculum encourages you to dive into the specifics for your situation.
Makes sense.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got the why of real estate investing down, but what makes a property valuable? What am I looking for?
So the curriculum breaks it down into 3 core factors: location, property condition, and market demand.
Location, condition, demand. Okay, those make sense, but how do they, actually translate into a property being worth more or less?
So think of it like this. Location, it determines your potential renters or buyers.
Right.
So a property in a great neighborhood with good schools, amenities.
Yeah, those desirable areas.
Exactly. Those are going to command higher prices than a comparable property in a less desirable area.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Location, as they say. Okay, what about property condition? How does that play in?
Condition, think maintenance potential. A well-maintained property.
Less headache.
Exactly. It's going to generally attract higher rents and it'll sell for a premium. Now, on the flip side, a property that needs work,
Fixer-upper?
yeah, you might be able to snag it for a lower price.
Yeah.
But you might have to put in some work to get it to its full potential.
So it's a balance.
Yeah.
Upfront cost versus potential future returns.
Exactly. And that's where understanding market demand comes in. High demand. You can often command higher rents, expect faster appreciation. But if the market's flooded with similar properties...
Now, you might be sitting on that property for a while.
Exactly.
Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Actionable advice here. Okay, let's talk about different types of properties. Is investing in, say, a downtown condo building the same as like a suburban shopping center?
Now that's where things get interesting. The curriculum dives into different property types, commercial versus residential.
Give me the differences.
So commercial properties, like that shopping center, might have potential for higher rental income.
Okay, I see the appeal.
Right, but they also come with different challenges compared to, say, a residential property.
Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. Knowing your investment goals, your risk tolerance, that's key.
Love it. So the curriculum really emphasizes there's no one-size-fits-all approach to this whole real estate investing thing.
Absolutely not. What's right for one person might be completely wrong for another. And speaking of different approaches, the curriculum also dives into real estate development.
Okay. See, that's always seemed a bit intimidating to me, all the ins and outs of developing a property from scratch.
Yeah, it can seem like a complicated process, but the curriculum breaks it down into manageable phases, starting with site selection.
So finding the right plot of land.
You got it. Then it walks you through navigating permits, inspections.
It's a lot of red tape.
There can be,
Yeah.
but then all the way to those final approvals.
Wow. So it really does take you through the entire life cycle of a development project. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And that knowledge can be really empowering, even if you never plan on, building a skyscraper yourself.
Right. Just understanding the process gives you an advantage, whether you're evaluating existing properties or potential development opportunities.
Exactly. You'll have a better understanding of what you're getting into.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. We've got the why of real estate investing, the key factors that make a property valuable, and a glimpse into real estate development. But what about the financial side of things? Because spreadsheets and I don't always see eye to eye.
Well, you're in luck. The curriculum tackles the financial aspects head on, emphasizing how crucial it is to understand that side of any investment. It highlights rental income and lease agreements.
Lease agreements. Now, those can feel like they're written in a foreign language sometimes.
I hear you. They can be a bit daunting, but the curriculum does a good job of breaking them down and making them much less intimidating.
Okay, good to know. So it simplifies things a bit.
Exactly. And it introduces the concept of a cash flow pro forma.
A cash flow what now?
A cash flow pro forma. Essentially, it's a tool that helps you project the financial performance of a property.
So income, expenses, all that.
All of it in a clear and concise way.
So it's like a financial crystal ball, but for real estate.
Something like that. It just gives you a much clearer vision of a property's potential profitability.
Okay, I'm sold. I need to get my hands on one of those. Now, another term I kept seeing in the curriculum, leverage. What's the deal with that? How does it play into real estate?
Leverage is basically using borrowed money, typically through mortgages, to potentially increase your investment returns.
Wait, so instead of just using my own money, I could use the bank's money to try to boost my profits.
Essentially, yes.
That's a powerful tool.
It is. But like any powerful tool, you have to be careful.
Okay, so there are risks involved.
Of course, think of it like using a lever to lift a heavy object. It makes the task easier, but if you're not careful,
You could get hurt.
exactly. Leverage can magnify your returns, but it can also magnify your losses.
Okay, that makes sense. So what kind of risks are we talking about specifically?
Well, the biggest risk with leverage is that if the property value declines, you're still responsible for that full mortgage amount.
Even if the property's not worth what you owe.
Unfortunately, yes. So it's about understanding the potential downsides just as much as the potential upsides.
So leverage is a calculated risk. Gotcha.
Exactly. You're leveraging potential gains, but also potential losses. The curriculum does a really good job of explaining the mechanics of leverage, how it works, how it can magnify those returns.
But it also emphasizes the importance of understanding and managing those risks, right?
100%. It's all about making informed decisions.
That makes sense. So it's not a magic bullet, but it's a tool worth understanding.
For sure. And speaking of understanding, the curriculum also covers equity partnerships.
Okay, equity partnerships. What is that?
It's basically bringing in other investors, pooling resources together.
So instead of going it alone, you're teaming up.
Exactly. It's like assembling a team where everyone contributes their skills and resources.
That sounds like it could be a game changer.
It can be, yeah, but you got to be careful too, right? Like any partnership, you want to make sure you're aligned on goals, risk tolerance, that sort of thing.
You don't want to jump into business with just anyone.
Exactly. Got to make sure everyone's on the same page about the game plan.
So it's finding the right partners, defining roles and responsibilities, all that jazz.
Right. And that's something this curriculum emphasizes throughout making informed decisions. It's not just about dreaming of becoming a real estate mogul.
No pie in the sky thinking here.
Exactly. It's about having the knowledge to evaluate opportunities and make smart choices based on facts.
Love that. So no get-rich-quick schemes, just good old-fashioned knowledge and planning.
Precisely. And that actually brings us to a crucial point. The curriculum highlights determining if a real estate development project is worthwhile.
Because not every development is a guaranteed home run.
You got it. And to help you figure that out, the curriculum introduces this concept of cap rates.
Cap rates, okay, that rings a bell, but I wouldn't mind a little refresher. What are those all about?
So basically, cap rates help you assess a property's potential profitability in relation to its market value. It's a way to compare different opportunities.
So like comparing a brand new apartment building with, say, an older shopping plaza, even though they're totally different types of property.
Exactly. The cap rate helps you see beyond just the surface and compare their potential returns relative to what you're paying for them.
Got it. So it's like a way to compare apples to apples, even if the properties themselves look totally different.
You nailed it. It helps you cut through all the noise and figure out which property is likely to generate a better return on your investment.
That's incredibly valuable information to have. So it's like having a secret tool to decode the real estate market.
You could say that. And on top of cap rates, the curriculum also stresses factoring in realistic construction costs.
Oh, especially these days, right? With material costs and labor shortages, it seems like building anything is crazy expensive.
It definitely can be. That's why the curriculum really emphasizes doing your homework on those costs. And not just the initial construction, but also potential delays, unexpected expenses, things like that.
So it's not just the sticker price of the land or the building. You have to think long-term about the entire project.
Exactly. And let's not forget about things like local regulations, zoning laws. Those can have a huge impact too.
Oh man, don't even get me started on zoning. It's a whole other beast.
It is. And the curriculum dives into all that good stuff, making sure you're aware of those factors.
Okay, so we've talked about evaluating deals, the numbers, the development process. But how do you know when to actually pull the trigger? When to say yes to an investment?
That's where Module 8 comes in, which focuses on those big investment decisions. And the framework it provides goes beyond just the financials.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. There's a gut feeling element to it too.
In a way, yes. The curriculum emphasizes that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to this. What works for one person might be a disaster for another.
Right. It's about aligning your investment decisions with your own goals, your risk tolerance, your comfort level.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where calculated risk meets informed decision-making.
Makes sense. You have to be comfortable with the level of risk you're taking on and believe that the potential reward is worth it.
And that confidence comes from doing your due diligence, researching the market, understanding all these factors we've been discussing.
So it sounds like this curriculum gives you a solid foundation to navigate the exciting but sometimes overwhelming world of real estate investing.
It's like having a guide in your corner, helping you navigate the ins and outs of the market.
So if you were starting your real estate investment journey today,
Yeah.
where would you be looking? What kind of property would catch your eye?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, if I were starting out today, I think I'd be drawn to multifamily properties.
Multifamily. Okay, interesting. What makes those stand out to you?
Well, for one, the demand for rentals in those types of properties tends to be pretty consistent, especially in like thriving urban areas.
Right, makes sense. People always need a place to live,
Mhm.
and cities usually have a pretty steady stream of renters.
Exactly. And another thing is multifamily properties can offer those economies of scale.
Economies of scale. How so?
Well, think about it, managing several units within one building. It's often more efficient than managing, say, several separate properties.
So it's like having all your eggs in one well-designed basket.
There you go. Plus, you can streamline things like maintenance and even tenant communication.
Makes sense. So you're drawn to the stability of the rental income and then the efficiency of managing those multiple units all in one place.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that's just one example, right? There are tons of different avenues in real estate.
So many options.
Right. You could flip houses, you could look into commercial developments. It all depends on your interests and goals.
So whether someone's looking for a more hands-on project or a passive investment,
Yeah,
there's a place for them in the real estate world.
absolutely. The key is to find your niche, do your research, understand those risks, and then approach each decision carefully.
Due diligence. That seems to be the common thread throughout this whole curriculum.
It's the foundation of being a successful investor.
Couldn't agree more.
Hmm.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here, what would you say are the biggest takeaways from this simplified real estate investment course curriculum?
I'd say the biggest takeaway is that real estate can be a fantastic way to build wealth, but it's not a passive game.
Yeah.
You have to be engaged and informed.
Knowledge is power.
Exactly. This curriculum provides a great foundation, but it also stresses that continuous learning is key.
Because the real estate world is always changing, right?
All the time, successful investors adapt and stay updated.
It's like learning to ride a bike.
Yeah.
You might start with training wheels, but eventually you're popping wheelies and navigating obstacles you never thought possible.
I love that analogy. It's about building that confidence and expertise over time.
Well said. So to wrap things up, would you say this curriculum is a worthwhile investment for our listeners who are serious about exploring the world of real estate?
Absolutely. It's packed with valuable insights and practical advice. It's a fantastic starting point for anyone ready to take that next step.
Consider this deep dive a little preview of what's out there. We've explored the why, the how, the what of real estate. But this is just the beginning of your journey. Keep learning, keep exploring, and as always, happy investing.